Do you think home ec is important for students to take?
I do. I think that it has kind of changed a little bit. Like, I remember in my class I had to learn how to tie a tie. You know, I mean, I guess I was supposed to come home and, you know, put it on my husband. I don't know. I don't think that I remember how to do it. But I think the skills have kind of changed a little bit. And I think that, you know, the home ec that I took could look a lot different, you know, in today's world. I teach a class that's molecular and physical gastronomy, and it's sort of the science of food. And so we're learning some of the cooking skills, but we're also learning like the science behind them. Like, why do you add salt to water when you're boiling it? And you know, about different ways that energy happens and things like that. So it's kind of like the next level of cooking. But no, I do think it's important, but I think that it's probably needs to look a little different. And I think that if it did look different, you know, the people who get to make all the decisions, like on classes, like what they're going to support, I think would probably be more willing to do that. And with seasonal opinion, is I do think it's good. I know for years since I've been here, students are always asking. And one of the things that they did is this molecular and physical gastronomy class is sort of like an in-between. It's a science class, but it does sort of allow you to sort of explore some of the things that deal with food. And it's only food. It's not any of like how do you set the table or cooking or sewing. So it's strictly based on food science. But no, I think that it would be a great idea.
Would you be willing to let your students sign up for home ec and use your room to hold the class?
So I, again, am not in charge of whether they're allowed to sign up for it or not, but students do use my room for it. The only problem is this used to be the home ec room, and there used to be 6 kitchen setups. If you pan around, you'll see we've got 1. Even for my class, I can only have about 12 kids in there because I've only got 1 kitchen setup. But you know, if they brought in more, I think that it would be so cool to have it because we do have a lot of fun cooking and stuff.
Okay, so did you take home ec while you were in college?
Yes, I did.
Do you think it's important for students to take?
I do. I think it gives you some skills that you might not know otherwise, and it's a good experience for high school students, boys and girls.
How would you feel about adding it as an after-school extracurricular activity for students who are
Oh, I think that'd be an amazing thing to do. I think it should be an in-school class to choose to take, but after school too.
Did you take home ec while you were in high school? Why or why not?
Yes, I did take home ec because it was a requirement back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think home ec is important for students to take?
I think the skills that you learn in a home ec class are important. Like, I learned how to sew and to cook and to read a recipe. So things that I do now, except for sewing. I do not sew.
How would you feel if our school added these classes for students to take?
I think the more variety of classes that we can offer for students is better for the students in general. I think they'd have fun.
Do you think students would do better in life with having these classes?
Do better in life?
Yes.
Wow, that's a big question. I think what you learn in home ec is very helpful,
Okay.
such as cooking and measuring and reading recipes. So yes, I think it would be helpful.
Okay, thank you.
How would you feel if we added home ec back as a class for students to take?
I would have mixed feelings about that because we used to have that class before and it was taken away. And one of the reasons is it wasn't a viable option anymore. One of the reasons is who can teach the class and who's qualified to teach the class. So you would have difficulty finding that. The second reason is it would be another choice for students to make, and some students already can't take classes that they want to take because there's so many things they have to complete. Although I think it would be a very good class, it would be a very viable option.
Do you think the skills that we would learn in home ec are important for everyone?
They're definitely important, but some people are learning those skills at home. But we also know that some people are not. So the question then would be, who would have to take the class? So would it be mandatory or would it be an elective? If it's an elective, it's a better idea because there are some students who wouldn't want to take the class, but others would say, I need to take that class. Anything else?
How do you feel about the home ec classes, and do you think the skills are important in succeeding in life?
I think home ec class would be a great idea because this week I've been home alone. Like, 'cause my parents went to Florida and I have no idea how to cook, so I've had to buy food every day.
All I cook is eggs, and I can't eat eggs anymore. So yes, I would like to learn how to cook.
Are you guys handy with tools, or do you just not have anything?
I don't know, but I would love to learn. So if I had a home ec class, I would be able to flip pancakes and stuff.
Okay.
I can change my oil in my car.
How do you feel about the home ec or family consumer sciences that used to be offered in Champion, Ohio?
I feel like they're important because they build like a foundation, because I personally can't cook, and I feel like that would be important for you to be able to learn how to cook for like my husband or something in the future.
Do you think that, how do you feel if we bring these classes back?
Again, I feel like that would be a good idea, because also I don't know how to cook, I don't know how to use tools. I'm like very, very, very limited to what I can learn, and I feel like that would be important.
Do you think the skills you learn in these classes are important to succeeding in life?
Yes, because going into college, I have no basic fundamentals. Like, I'm learning things that in my eyes are unimportant, like my math classes and stuff. Things I'm learning, I'm never going to use again being a music ed major. So I feel like it would be important to bring those back and actually learn something that's useful for your time.
Oh yeah, up top.
How do you feel about
I think it helps you to grow up. It helps you to, when you get older, you know how to do your budget, your money, you know how to cook, you know how to take care of cleaning and your house, and you know all of that.
All right, how do you feel?
I think it's a good idea because it does much more than just teach you how to cook. It teaches you how to learn to be a young adult.
And Jim?
I agree with that pretty much.
Okay, next question.
Do you think the skills are important for us to have?
I believe it is. I know Miss Miller, the guidance counselor, was the home ec teacher here for many years, and she taught cooking and sewing and all kinds of stuff. And me personally, I thought it was a good idea, but then I guess the sign up for the classes and whatever dropped down lower and lower and lower, and then they finally decided that there wasn't a need for it, and if the students wanted it, I think they could pick it up down at the vocational school.
Okay.
That was a good answer.
How do you feel?
What was the question? Please
Do
question.
you think the skills are important?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I have a young daughter that goes to the school, and she has absolutely no clue how to turn the oven on or balance a checkbook. So yeah, absolutely, the schools are very, very important.
Is that it? How do you feel about adding home ec or family and consumer science classes to Champion High School?
I feel like students would benefit from it in a lot of ways that we don't get the same education in a regular classroom with just regular school standards.
All right, how do you feel, Austin?
Wait, I have food in my mouth.
Okay.
Oh my god. Say something.
How do you feel?
I feel like it would benefit people a lot because there's like things that people don't learn about when they're in school that they need for like life.
Okay.
I don't think it should just be only home ec though either. I think we should like learn about taxes and like how to like get a bank account and like
That's,
every life skill outside of like, oh, here's how you get a job. Like, you know what I mean? Like that, like Brazil's class is like the closest we got to even.
Yeah, that's like the whole consumer science part of it. So like it teaches you finance and stuff like that. No, I'm not. Okay. Austin, how do you feel?
So I feel like students nowadays don't have any idea of like how to do anything in their normal life. Like if you were to just throw them out and be like, here's a house, get a job, support yourself, like most people wouldn't know what to do at all, or like how to actually do a job, or like have any sort of like work ethic. And I feel like those types of classes would really help with like how to be on your own without like being troubled and like not know what to do.
Do you guys think that without these classes, kids will be unable to succeed in life? Well, not like you'll be a total failure, but you'll
like
be lacking.
Have, like, a better chance because like a lot of these. Do you know how many kids in my graduating class aren't going to college? Like they're just gonna like go into life like that. Like that's crazy.
Exactly, and it's like yeah, like you have.
They really have no idea like what they're getting themselves into, and like I don't either because like I'm still gonna be going to college, but it's still like scary. Like one day I'm gonna actually have to go and like live on my own.
But like once you're not in school, it's like you're completely under. Like you don't have anyone to go to for advice for the most part. It's just
like a lot of parents just like, oh, you're 18 now, like
good job, goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Like,
so like, you need to have some sort of experience and like say that like you rip your clothes, like you have to know how to sew it. Like, you can't just like throw it away. That's
like $20 jeans.
Yeah, like $60 or something. That's
Yeah,
not,
like-
clothes aren't cheap, and like living alone isn't cheap, and like you have to know how to work with what you have. You know?
Manage money. Like
Yeah.
that's a big
Yeah.
one because a lot of us just like
Blow through it.
yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Like you see something you want.
Me
you get it.
too.
I don't really.
What do you have to say?
At least 75 cents a week on ramen noodles. I save a lot.
Allison, do you have anything to say?
Just I agree with what everyone else is saying. Like, I feel like finances and taxes, like, people need to know how to do them. And, like, people need to learn how to live their life on their own. Haley, get out of my way.
In my shot.
People need to, like, learn how to live on their own without their parents, and I feel like that's not available with the classes that we have right now. That's all.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.